Hi, this is Mark Laughlin with the Ambidextrous Gunfighter. We've got something new here, KelTec P17 22 caliber pistol. Now, why in the world did I get myself a KelTec P17? Well, couldn't pass up the paddle magazine release. Now, if you've seen my other videos, you know I'm a huge fan of the paddle magazine release. Why? One, it's Ambi, 100% perfectly Ambi. Two, it allows for pinch operation so that you maintain a firm grip on the pistol while you're doing magazine changes, instead of having to shift to a side and kind of hold with just a few fingers. The other thing, it's probably the most important one, is that with the paddle magazine release, once your pistol is holstered, and good luck finding a holster for the P17, but once we get a holster for it, the holster, when it covers the trigger guard, is going to prevent accidental disengagement of the magazine. Hitting on the side is not going to cause like a button for the magazine to get like partially ejected. Okay, so that's one of the big reasons. The other is, well, it's kind of a cool looking pistol. And yeah, I've been needing a 22 pistol just to mess around with, so we got one of these. Now it is a hammer fired 22 pistol, and it has a terrific trigger, a surprisingly good trigger, good reset. The reset, there's a little bit of a tactile feel and some semi-audible feel, but not a whole lot of feedback. But fortunately, because the pistol's so mild recoiling and so relatively quiet, you can detect the reset. Now, given that the trigger is so light, I mean, it's a very light trigger. I'm guessing, I don't know, 3 pounds or something. It's really light, I think, especially compared to like my KelTec PF9, which has a long, heavy trigger pull. So because it's so light, I'm kind of glad that it has the safety. It does have an ambidextrous safety, so you can work it left and right-handed. And so having the manual safety is probably beneficial for a pistol with such a fine and light trigger. Now, the pistol is built with this kind of clamshell construction. I don't know if you can see, it's actually 2 pieces, left and right sides of it, that are then screwed together, which kind of feels cheesy and cheap, but it's working awesome. A lot of screws, you know, it could potentially come loose. We'll have to watch that, but so far, after about 700 rounds, we fired there are 325 rounds of this Federal, 100 rounds of the CCI 22 long rifle AR tactical stuff, and then 200 rounds of the CCI mini mag, and then we had about 100 rounds of, I think it was Remington, with just a lead bullet in it, and had a few malfunctions with that, which, if it was Remington, and I'm not even sure what it was just kind of shit ammo that I had stashed behind. And other pistols we have not functioned with that at all, and this one functioned most of the time, probably 80% of the time. We did have a few failure to eject or to lock the slide back, but everything else was 100%. Now, one cool thing is that you would think these stuffing 16 rounds into these little tiny magazines, which really feel lightweight, and fortunately they're, I guess, engineered well to be strong despite their very lightweight, and they kind of feel, again, kind of cheesy, but they work. And anyway, with 16 rounds in it, I thought that they might be kind of hard to load, but with the slide forward, but it was no problem at all. Also, doing a chamber check, had no problem with the slide going back into battery after doing a chamber check, so that's also good.
No problem loading these magazines either. Even at the loading the 16th round, did not find it difficult at all to get these mags loaded.
So anyway, the safety again is ambidextrous. Maybe a little bit stiff when going into the putting the safety on, and a little bit easier to take it off than it is to put on. But I think it's actually wearing in to where it's kind of equal now that I've used it a bunch. It has only, the slide release is only for right-handed operation. It is not truly 100% ambi where you have it on the left side, so slingshot, I guess. And kind of a shame because with the paddle magazine release and the safety being ambi, it's kind of a shame we don't have a ambi slide release too to kind of just fill out the whole feature list for ambidextrous gunfighter stuff. It's a similar grip angle to the PF9. It also has that same gator back texture or whatever it is. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it works. It also has a similar beaver tail cutout as per the PF9. They're almost identical. And the bore axis is kind of over about the same height above the web of your thumb on both pistols. One difference is that the trigger guard is more squared off on the P17, and it has where it's screwed here to clamp it together, has kind of a ledge there. So, I mean, if it had any recoil, that'd be great for helping to hold the pistol down, but given that it has no recoil to speak of, not a big deal. Now like I said, paddle magazine on the release, this is so much better than the button magazine on the PF9. I have so many times come to take this out of my pocket and find that the magazine has been disengaged. I mean, not every day, but maybe 10 or 15% of the time that happens. Field strip is really kind of alien. It's basically, you've got kind of these takedown levers similar to a Glock. You pull back and then you lift up, and then it comes forward kind of like a Walther PPK, and then it comes off the front. Now, supposedly I should be able to take that off without removing the thread protector here on the barrel. Well, so far I've had to remove that to get that slide to come off. I think once things wear in, I won't have to do that anymore. But right now I do have to take that thread protector off to get that slide to come off the front. The grip texture, it does, like I said, is the same as the PF9, but the plastic on this, while it looks more refined, it is a little bit slicker feeling. And so this, even though the PF9, even though the plastic looks less polished, it is grippier, has a more grippier feel to it than this. It's a little bit slippery. This has a fiber optic sight on the front, which is really bright and makes it easy to pick it up. It's actually darked out on the rear. PF9 has just a white dot on the front and ramp sights. One thing about the PS17 is that the rear sight is kind of spring-loaded, and then it is fully adjustable for windage and elevation. Very nice feature, although I found as it came from the factory for me, it was spot on.
The pointability is really good as well. Close your eyes, bring the pistol up to eye level, open your eyes, and you'll find the sights are very level.
Now the interesting thing is that, okay, we say that the P17 it comes with 3 mags, these 3 little mags, and all of my mags worked perfectly, had no problems with any of them. Those 3 mags with plus 1 in the chamber, that means you're able to carry 49 rounds in a package that total weight is 20.4 ounces, and that's including the ammo. And the equivalent weight with the PF9 can only carry 14 rounds. So basically the P17, the 22 P17, you're able to carry 3.5 rounds per 1 round of 9mm. That's kind of interesting. Some other differences, the grip length is a little bit higher on the P17, you know, it's not quite identical, and of course and then also the barrel length is a little bit longer. This is about, I think, a 3.5-inch barrel on the P17 versus 3.1 on the PF9. Now the grip, the length of the grip, not just the height of it, but the length of it is pretty long. It's pretty much the same as the PF9, which is kind of excessive for maybe a 22 pistol. But I think for a practice pistol, if you're thinking this as being the practice version of your PF9 or another single stack 9mm, then that's maybe not so bad a feature to have. Also, with this grip length, maybe there might come out with a version that's maybe 5.7 by 28. Wouldn't that be cool? 5.7 and a lightweight package with paddle magazine release and Ambi Controls? Oh yeah, I would really like to see that. I don't know if that's coming or not, but hey, make that. Or a PF9 update that has a paddle magazine release and Ambi slide release. That would be cool too. So what do I think, what's the philosophy of use for this pistol? I think of it as three things. One, it's a great backpack pistol. You can carry this in your, it's very lightweight, like I said, 20.4 ounces with all the mags loaded and one in the chamber. So you got almost 50 rounds you can take with you out in the woods for protection from, you know, it's not ideal. You know, maybe the 9 is a little bit, you know, has more kinetic energy delivering to the target, but it's certainly capable. And with the, you know, 3.5 times the amount of ammo, well, that helps too. There's something to be said for 3.5 times more shots if you're dealing in a self-defense situation. So not bad at all. And also the other philosophy of use is, of course, a Liberty training pistol, kind of like the equivalent for the Liberty training rifle for Project Appleseed. So for your, you know, your 9mm here, your Centerfire self-defense 9, we can train much more affordably with the 22. In fact, if I shot as much ammo as I did today of the 22, and this 22, I shot almost 700, maybe 800 rounds of ammo. If I shot that much in 9mm, well, I've already paid for my P17. Not a bad deal. So what about this P17 as a self-defense pistol? Again, 3.5 times the ammo than a 9mm. Now, something that I found, and I'll put at a gunpowdermagazine.com, and I'll include the link down in the description to this article talking about using the 22 for self-defense. Now, most people poo-poo that idea. I'm not maybe to disagree with them, but I was surprised to find out, here, quote, felons hit with a 22 long rifle were incapacitated by just one shot to the torso or head 60% of the time due to better shot placement, compared to just 47% of the time for a 9mm or 51% of the time for 45 ACP. So don't underestimate its stopping power. But a word of warning, they note here. 31% of the felons were not incapacitated, no matter how many times they were hit in the torso with the 22. Headshots were another matter. So the failure rate is higher than with the Centerfire ammo. But I don't know what the data would be on the headshot. I'm thinking headshot with a 22 is going to be very effective. In fact, for those of you who, like me, grew up on a farm, like if you grew up on a dairy farm or cattle farm and you processed your own beef, a 22 between the eyes of a cow, it was an instant kill every time that I've ever seen it done. So don't underestimate the 22. Now the other thing is, from my own heartbreaking experience, my sister was murdered in 2008. Now you can look in the description if you care to check out the article on that tragic situation. But she was murdered. Her murderer used a 22 rifle and killed her with one shot. And it was, an unlucky shot, and that in fact it took out her aorta, and that's what killed her. So anyway, a handgun 22 is not to be trifled with. It is certainly capable of doing the deed. Now, of course, because of its light recoil, this is very easy to shoot compared to a snappy 9mm. So that's, follow-up shots are going to be easy with a 22. Shot placement is easy with a 22. So you make up for stopping power with accuracy. Now, like I said, my reliability with the pistol today, shooting about 700 rounds, somewhere around there. was basically on all the good ammo, you know, not the Remington lead, or I'm not sure if it was Remington, but it was a full lead ammo. I had a couple of malfunctions with that. But with all my CCI stuff, it was 100% reliable. And, but I should note that I did, before I even brought this out to the range, I did a complete strip down and cleaned all the, you know, lubrication, the rust preventative lubrication off of it that came from the factory, and I'd use Sentry Solutions dry lubricant throughout the pistol, and it was seemed to me noticeably, maybe it's just my imagination, but it seemed like the slide was just noticeably smoother with the Sentry Solution. So I'm not sure if that was an issue and that reason I had such success, such good luck with my pistol today. But if you do already own a P17 and you are having reliability issues, perhaps look into using Sentry Solutions dry lubricant on your pistol as well. Okay, to field strip the P17, you take a little pressure off the slide, pull the takedown buttons down a bit, pull the slide on back, lift up, and then you should better come forward and come off that thread protector. Now, so far I've not been able to do that, so I have to, I use a little wrench here, remove the thread protector. That's where you can put a suppressor on it. Okay, so now we go through that drill again. Take down buttons down on both sides. Take a little pressure off, all the way to the rear, lift up, just like on a Walter PPQ. Come out over the end. And you have to watch, you're going to have the spring there and this little bushing. And you watch for this little bushing right here. It's, and with the spring will get flung out of there if you take the thread protector off. And the bushing fits in there like that. And it should be able to come off of there. See, that thread protector should slide right through there. It's just that with the angle, I'm not able to get it off. I suspect that once maybe this kind of breaks in, wears in a bit, then maybe I'll better tear it down the right way. But anyway, that's two ways to tear it down. Now, I don't know if it was a factor, but reliability, we use Sentry Solutions. Both as kind of as a cleaner. Of course, we'll wipe all this off with a paper towel first, and then put Sentry Solutions on it, spread it around, let it dry, and reassemble. So once you've got it all cleaned up, what we'll do is we'll try to put this back together with this thread protector on there. Okay, as you see, with the thread protector on, we can get it over there, and it does fit on. So we pull down the takedown levers, slide it all the way to the rear, push down till it engages the lugs, let it slide home. I'm going to just check the torque on the thread protector, just slightly. Presumably once we get this thing broke in, we'll be able to take it off that way as well. Now, I did a number of tests to see how, you know, if I could make this thing fail. I tried squeezing the, I guess you would call what would be the slide on a centerfire pistol, but it's actually just the part of the grip frame, and the slide really just moves across the top. But I thought that maybe by gripping that really tight, I might be able to induce some malfunction, and did not cause any malfunction. Now, I did also do some, you know, purposefully blocking the back of the pistol to just see if, you know, maybe it blew up or anything, you know. Maybe take one for the team for you guys, but holding the slide down and preventing it from cycling, no problems at all. It fired, and I manually cycled and fired again. Did that several times. Also did an extract an unfired round, and it worked great. I had no problems extracting a unfired round. with the pistol, which was something I had owned previously, a KelTec SU-22, which is like the 22 version of the SU-16, and I really liked the SU-16. But my SU-22 sucked. I hated it. It went to the factory 3 times for repair, and it never came back working right, and it would never extract an unfired round, and had lots of failures to extract anyway, even when fired. So I got rid of the SU-22. If you got one that works and works great, good. Be thankful. Mine sucked. But this thing has been, so far has just been unbelievably awesome. Very accurate. Maybe not quite. We do have a Ruger a Ruger 2245, I think it's called. It's their 22 pistol that has the same grip angle as the like a 1911. It has a bull barrel. It's got an amazing trigger in it. I think we have a trigger upgrade on that, but it has a spectacular trigger. Now it's a much heavier pistol, so it's really easy to shoot. But it is, I think, a little more accurate than this. But this is probably, I'll have to put it on the scale and see, but I'm guessing this is probably 8 to 10 ounces lighter, because the Ruger has this big, heavy steel bull barrel, and it's, pretty stout looking and everything. But this is going to be an ideal backpack pistol. Maybe even, for those of you, concealed carry, not bad. Like I said, don't discount the 22 for concealed carry. What's the chance? The chances you're ever going to need a firearm in self-defense is pretty minimal over your lifetime, maybe 5–10%, depending on what kind of area you live in. And then even if you do have to draw the weapon in self-defense, the chances you have to fire it are, pretty small even at that point. So still a 22 is adequate to that. And then if you do have to fire it, well, the data apparently shows that one shot stops with the 22 are certainly possible. In fact, apparently more effective than 9s. I don't know. I'm not sure if I completely believe that, but would like to see the data behind that article. But anyway, don't discount the 22. Certainly capable. Nowadays, with modern like the CCI Mini Mag, the ammo is very reliable with that stuff. If you're going to run it for self-defense, run the really good stuff. I mean, 22, it's compared to 9 is pretty cheap. Anyway, so far, very impressed with the P17. I can't believe, you can buy this pistol. I paid, I think it was $170 for this. And, I mean, it's lightweight, cheap kind of manufacturing. But hey, it's smartly engineered, smartly designed. Really impressed. Anyway, highly recommend it. If you can find one at your local dealer, check it out. It's a few boxes of 9mm ammo. You can have one of these in your gun safe. Mark Laughlin with the Ambidextrous Gunfighter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.